Szanowni Państwo I witamy. As Magda mentioned, my name is Paul Fox. I'm the EU and Commercial Counsellor at the Embassy. The Ambassador was due to open this unique new session, but unfortunately he's had to go to London because there are some important visitors going to London, one being the Minister for Europe, Mr. Dovgievich, and the Prime Minister, Mr. Tusk, next Monday, so the Ambassador is there in preparation for that. But I'm delighted to be here. This is a unique occasion, I think. I mean, we are here to talk about industrial mathematics. Now, I'll be honest with you and say that I hadn't heard of industrial mathematics until fairly recently. And I'd be a liar to say if I did. However, there's been a lot of work going on over the summer, sponsored by the Embassy, and drawing on the expertise of British practitioners who are the leaders in the field on this. Now, I asked for a precise definition of industrial mathematics, and Magda provided me with one, which was along the lines of, this is the application of mathematical ideas to solving real-world problems for companies and institutions. And the idea today is, I think, twofold, really. One is a form of celebration, because as I mentioned, Magda, the Embassy team here, has brought together experts from the UK and experts in Poland from the Polish Academy of Sciences, where we have they have adapted UK best practice to Polish circumstances, worked hard over the summer, organised by Dr. Ulusha, and have invited problems from industry, produced study reports, and then provided solutions to those companies. So we want to try and celebrate that, because that is, a brand new approach to problem solving in Poland. But also we want to try and promote that, because the idea is we want to get across to you, our distinguished guests, that there are unique and different possibilities for using academic research, which can be applied in a real-world way to the benefit of companies here in Poland, to make them more competitive, to make them more successful, to make them more effective. And today you will hear a series of talks outlining how this can be meaningfully done. Now, one of the things I've been asked, Professor Ockenden from Oxford University, who is here, has made a particular point. We don't want this to be a session where people are just talking at you all the time and you're just passively receiving information and knowledge. I think quite a few of our speakers would actively welcome questions from the floor, seeking clarification, more information, so on and so forth. So please come forward and ask as many questions as you like. That would be extremely useful. Now, I just want to say one more thing, and then I shall hand over. The trouble with diplomats is that whenever you get a diplomat in the room, he must give a speech, so I want to try and keep my speech as short as possible. This occasion is yet another example, I think, of what I call a building up of the relationship between Britain and Poland from the ground up. I mean, most people tend to think that relationships between countries is all about high politics, all about prime ministers meeting other prime ministers and presidents travelling, etc. But in my 2 years in Poland, one of the things I have learnt, and particularly in this country, is that the relationship between Britain and Poland has been revolutionised, not by high-level politics, but by ground-up human relations. We have, if you believe current statistics, over 1 million Poles living in the UK at the moment who have travelled there in the past 4 years. That has revolutionised relationships, it's revolutionised relations between countries, purely because we know more about each other now than we ever have done. And we in the Embassy have tried to capitalise on that development by bringing together people at all levels, in all areas, to talk about different things. And this particular project, bringing together experts from the British side to speak to experts from the Polish side, to talk about innovative new ways of doing things with academia, which can then be used in commercial situations, is part of that revolution. So I would like to thank the Embassy team, in particular Magda and Andre, for making this possible, and also our Polish and British experts who have worked together in order to make this as you will see, a success. Well, I shall now leave it to the experts, and thank you very much for listening to me.